And now I'm going to hit broadcast. Okay, I think we are broadcasting. They never tell you, but I'm assuming we. Alrighty. So, welcome everyone to Masterclass Mondays for the Diverse Learner Membership. And we are here with Ian Rosario
Hey,
and, yep, from Tiny Theater. And we're super excited because he is going to show us how to engage our readers through theater. Strategies for engaging diverse readers, of course, is always our focus. And so we have a very special session today where we're going to just explore some options that many people may have not even considered. Alrighty. So before we get started, we always want to go over who we are, what we represent. So the Diverse Learner Membership, what are we? We are a community of parents and educators who share one common goal, and that is to help diverse learners become experts of their learning. And the Diverse Learner Membership creates a supportive community we call the Village and ensures that parents and educators never feel alone again when supporting their diverse learners at home and at school. So we are, of course, we're diverse, we are learner-centered, we're social solutions-oriented, we're goal-directed, we're supportive, we're collaborative, we're innovative. These are all things that we represent and that we always try to bring out in our learners. And what are diverse learners, you may ask? And I know we've said it time and time again, but of course we always want to remember that they are students who are racially, ethnically, culturally, and linguistically diverse, from families and communities of lower socioeconomic status, and they can also be students with diverse learning needs. So a diverse learner can be one, two, or all of these and above, because again, it really impacts in the way in which they retain information, and also put out information into the world. We are 51%, so we are over the majority and growing in the United States of diverse learners. So it's always important that we represent our population. So with that said, one of the questions, and I don't know exactly if anybody's in here yet. Okay, it's just us for now. All right, so we'll go back. So one of the questions, of course, we're posing, and this is going to be recorded. So what is your experience with script reading for your readers? So we're talking about how can we use theater? How can we use scripts? How can we use all of these things to engage our readers? So we're gonna explore that. So Ian, of course, we're so happy to have you. You can go ahead and introduce yourself and take it from there.
awesome. I mean, great. Yeah, so my name is Ian. I'm a student at the University of Maryland. I'm an architecture and Spanish double major, and I'm also in the entrepreneurship innovation honors college at UMD. And that's kind of what started my journey towards like theater and reading together. And in my entrepreneurship and innovation honors college, I really found like an attraction to social entrepreneurship and basically like how we can use entrepreneurship in business to create social impacts and social good, building up others and building up the community. So I was really interested in that. And in 2019, I volunteered with Black Child Development Institute as a literacy tutor. And I saw an opportunity while I was volunteering with Black Child Development Institute to combine reading and theater and actually help kids practice reading in a fun way. And I was really passionate about that. And in 2020, which is this year, just a couple of months ago, I founded Tiny Theater LLC, which basically combines theater and reading to give kids a fun way to practice reading.
Awesome.
So yeah, it's been a really fun journey, and I'm really excited about it.
Okay, great.
So, yeah.
Let's see. We do have more participants. Okay, we have an attendee. Uh, so in the chat box as you come in, please feel free to chat in where you're from, some questions that you may have, and we'll definitely make sure to answer them as we go. All righty, and that is Ian. So Ian, tell us a little more about Tiny Theater, your workshops, and all of this good stuff that's happening.
Yeah. So the funny thing about Tiny Theater is I actually when I started Tiny Theater, I was not even thinking about reading at all. The Tiny Theater really started out about basically trying to give kids the opportunity to simply try out theater as an experience. And we partnered with Black Child Development Institute, and I wrote these short mini scripts that kids could read aloud. And at the end, I would say, "Oh, do you like this? Like, would you like to pursue this, in the future, just as an opportunity?" But as we were reading through it, one of the directors was like, "This is really great for the kids' reading skills because they're reading through these scripts." And there's a picture of me at the bottom helping my friend over there. He's one of my favorites. I love that guy. And and we would like take certain words out of the scripts that they didn't understand or they didn't know, and practice and build upon those words. So we found out that that theater and readers theater, which a lot of teachers use, is actually a great tool for practicing reading and building skills.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was great. So we did that in the spring of 2019, and then kind of stopped in the summer, and obviously we can't continue them up this year again because of COVID. But I hope as soon as this COVID stuff ends, we can go back and continue doing workshops.
Okay. And are you going to go into a little more about the workshops, or should I stay on this slide?
I mean, we can stay on the slide
Okay.
if you have some questions. Yeah.
What do your workshops look like, and what do you and your students do overall?
Right. So we usually start off with some theater games because I may not appear shy, but I am very shy in public sometimes. So sometimes we'll just play some theater games, random games to get the kids moving and energetic because reading these theater scripts are really silly and it's fun. So if you're loose, everyone has a great time. So usually we start off with some theater games and then we go into some short either 1 to 2 page theater scripts, read those aloud with usually highlighted parts so the students can follow along really easily. Short, usually for 20 or 30 minutes. And then after that, we'll take the words that the students struggle with in the scripts or didn't know how to pronounce, and we'll write those down for them to keep and go home and practice.
Excellent.
So it's really short, but a really fun activity.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be, especially with our kids. Like, we got to get straight to the point and
right.
connected directly to what they're doing, and connect with the relevancy of it. I talk a lot about like culturally responsive practices with my parents and of course with the teachers, and it's like it has to connect directly with the student right away, and they have to understand why they're doing it, and just the connection is key. So it has to be quick and straight to the point.
exactly. And I think that's something that's interesting too about readers theater. Like I think I didn't first initially realize this as I was going through, but it really kind of involves like a lot of aspects of, I guess, learning and how a child learns too, and integrates those together in an activity that practice reading. So if there's some that are unfamiliar with readers theater, it's simply just an activity in which students read a theater script aloud to practice reading skills, and usually they're in groups, and there'll be like kind of like a conversation back and forth, like just like this one, but scripted out, and there's an image at the bottom. That kid, the tall one, is me. Actually, that's not a student over there. But yeah, it's an interactive and fun activity, which it's a playful way to learn,
That's good, and you gotta have fun with it.
Exactly. And I think I really love that about readers theater, and in addition with the fun, like I didn't realize initially too about how many different aspects of education that readers theater really impacts, especially with like reading comprehension. That one really stuck out because I don't know if you can attest to this, but sometimes kids will read a passage and then right after they finish reading the passage, if you ask them, "What did you just read?" they say, yeah, I don't know what I just read.
Yeah, comprehension is key. Like they don't, if you can read all day, you're real great, but if you don't understand what you're reading, it's pointless.
Exactly. And the interesting thing is with readers theater, it's almost like you can't just read it and not understand, because at the same time, if there's an action of like, if it says like Jason walked around in a circle, you have to be walking around in a circle as you're reading it out.
Yeah, so acting it out. Yes.
Exactly. It's constantly, you have to constantly be keeping up with what's going on. And it also engages the students and their imagination. I think every kid that I've met loves to play around and have fun, and make believe. I mean, my brother and I used to fool around after school in the backyard for hours, just in elementary school. And I think that an activity in which we can like engage students' imagination and their playful side, and also bring in that educational aspect, is really key. So that's really exciting, and also building reading confidence, because I'm not somebody that likes to necessarily public speak, but it kind of brings that out, and also increase the reading, writing, and speaking skills all in one activity.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
great. I love that. And you said reader theater has also been used to promote fluency, enhance social development in children with learning disabilities at the elementary level. Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great to know. Yeah, fluency and social development. And when you're thinking about like acting, number of the members, and of course, like just parents that I interact with, and students, and teachers and students have a lot of expression, like they love to express themselves. They can be very dramatic. They have a lot of opinions. So in encouraging them to act it out and read about it and really like solve problems through acting it out, that's big when it comes to like socially developing them, and of course like their fluency. Like you wouldn't have a conversation with somebody saying, hi, my name is, and I feel like sometimes when you're reading directly, some like kids read like that. It's like, no, you wouldn't speak like that. So you got to practice to read how you speak, and, encourage that fluency. So I think that's a big piece right there. Oh, we got a video.
Right. I thought that it may be better to hear from some actual parents from our pilot program than me. So yeah, here's a little video about it.
So go ahead and press play.
Yeah, of course.
Awesome.
I really like is when you have them acting out, because that helps increase their comprehension. Because sometimes they read, they don't use the dictionary, they stumble over the word, they won't sound it out, they don't know what they read because they didn't do anything to really back up. They read it or look it up. But when you act it out, then you have to show that you understand. And so then you watch other kids act it out, then they can pull it all together. So then if you ask what was in that story, they can tell you what happened because they acted it out. I like that.
I like that too, because children.
That's thankful to the Tiny Theater at the University of Maryland.
They live in fantasy. Think about it. They look at imaginary things. They still have it in them.
Yes, absolutely.
This
That's
imaginary thing.
Exactly.
You're asking them to bring their imaginary friends to life.
And
that's what they do.
Is to me the true part of education. The true meaning of education is to bring out. And that is what an educator. That's why I often tell people, I'm not a teacher. I'm an educator. My goal is to bring out the best in children. Absolutely, and he is a great contact person for that. But they will be coming back with us because, like you said, just a practical experience of acting it out. But within that is building their vocabulary. So what they were doing every week, every other week was actually pulling out and identifying specific words that the kids own those words, and then therefore they knew those words going forward.
Really cool.
Yeah. So those were just the parents when we were closing up our theater workshop in DC, and yeah, it was really great to hear their feedback. And I didn't even know they would be sitting in the back sometimes watching us as we were going through the skits, and I didn't know how much they enjoyed it, and they said their kids enjoyed it too. So that was really great to hear.
Really positive feedback.
Yeah.
I think it makes sense. I mean, even I feel like I don't even have to see a workshop to be like, this is what our kids do all the time. They're always acting. They're always expressing themselves. So to be able to connect that with their reading, I just know that that's like a recipe for success for so many of our students.
Exactly. I love it. I think I am not initially a theater person. I did not picture myself doing this initially, but as I do it and to see kids being able to play and learn at the same time is I think really cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I use Readers Theater.
Yeah, and especially I should have put now at the end because I think Readers Theater even now, when a lot of families and students are staying at home and unable to go into in-person school, I think one of the reasons is Reader Theater is really adaptable, and since it really relies on your imagination while you're reading through the scripts, you can really do it almost anywhere. I mean, if you're a parent, you could do it inside, outside, in the living room, in the kitchen, in the garage, basically anywhere you want, as long as you use your imagination and read along with the scripts. It can be something you even do in the car too. And I think that's a really huge aspect about it. And also that it incorporates like different people in the family too. It could be a family activity rather than just maybe something that your kid has to do in a workbook or a worksheet by himself at the table. It could be something that either you get involved if you're a parent or siblings or other family members as well, and can be an activity that you all have fun doing together. Yeah.
I agree. And just again, like you said, being indoors, not, having additional activity that's meaningful,
Mhm.
it helps them practice reading, and like they're also having fun while they're doing it. And then
Right.
as a parent, as a teacher, you can be a part of it too, play different roles. You can, dress up, like take on the character. So I think that there's a lot of fun that can happen when you incorporate that. Oh yeah,
For
there we
sure.
go. It's fun.
Yeah, exactly. Right
It's
on the
just
point.
fun, and we want to tie fun with learning on all by any means necessary. Because for some reason, kids think there's a difference. It's like, oh,
Right.
learn oh, the fun stuff. So it's like you should be able to know that learning is fun. It's great to learn new things. It should be exciting, and we should incorporate ways for them to be excited about it.
Right. So I actually have some resources here in general for readers theater. So there's someone on Teachers Pay Teachers for like larger scale, especially if you're an educator looking to incorporate it in your classroom. There's also someone reading A to Z if you have a subscription with reading A to Z. There's a bunch of resources on there. And also on the bestclass.org, there's actually a whole list of free readers theater scripts.
Oh,
And there's a huge list of them, and they range typically on the larger number of roles. So maybe there'll be like 8 to 10 students involved. So they tend to be a little larger, but they have a ton of variety of, of, of skits, which is really great. And the only thing that's a little different about Tiny Theater LC, my business here, is that it kind of relies on smaller number of roles and is more home faced or home focused. Yeah.
okay.
So that students and families can do them at home, especially now, since that's a pressing need. Mhm.
Excellent. Yeah, of course. And I like that. Like you can have, there's a variety of it. I'll definitely be sharing these out to in an email to the members so that way they can like find them and upload and just get more resources
Right.
if that's something that they want to incorporate. But like you said, on the smaller scale, that's also important too. Like it's just two of us, it's just three of us,
Right.
having those small roles so that way everybody has a part. Love it.
Exactly. Exactly. And basically that's we try to create a booklet and activities that could be used at home and are also super fun, because sometimes the readers theaters scripts that I've seen out there are fun, and sometimes they're cheesy fun, but we really try to pack every skit with jokes, with
Mhm.
positive message and stuff like that, but also jokes. And one of the theater scripts coming up is about a patient who walks into the doctor and has an upset stomach because he's been eating beans all day long and, and just has a ton of
Oh,
gas.
okay.
Exactly.
Know how that's gonna go.
Right. And you can imagine there's
Yeah,
farting sounds in
all the
there.
way
Oh yeah.
wrong.
Mhm.
Ew.
So they're primarily for kids in grades K through 2, but we've talked. I've had some parents try them out, and they've said that their older kids have gotten involved because it's a great activity, just a fun activity for them.
Good.
And also, if some students struggle with reading and have different reading levels, so it's
Okay.
really kind of open. Mhm.
Love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. So on the website, there is a theater or a printable script theater booklet for reading practice, and basically all of the skits that I use in the workshop and a couple of more, I shortened the roles and to order to fit them to be used by just a couple of people. All the scripts can be done by just 2 people, you and your child, or if you have more, that's great. There's enough roles, but everyone can be done by 2 people, and there's 13 of them in there. They're all fun, short, and educational. They're packed with vocabulary words, and it's easy to read font and vocabulary words, so littered all over the place. So it's great.
Perfect.
Yeah. So I just a preview of what it is. There's the table of contents, and you can see some of the names in there are pretty humorous. Of like the royal family visits McDonald's, and there's the beans and disco fever. Just a bunch of silly scenarios.
Awesome. And I can share this to a preview with my members too as well, right?
Of course.
Shout out to them so that they can take a look and see what's on the inside. So let's look. Skit 1, earwax, 2 rolls. Beans, skit 2, skit 3, 2 rolls. Okay, the roles, patient, the doctor. Oh, and I like how they have the vocabulary words that they'll be using.
Right.
Yeah, I like that. Breakfast, get a little preview of those words. That way they know how to pronounce it and they feel comfortable seeing it, reading it. Okay, so I guess we can act out one of these. My acting skills. All right, the doctor's office. The one with the beans? Oh, jeez. Okay, so we would be like, how would you introduce the script to one of the children, the students?
Well, first I would probably show them the page. I would say, hey, this is the doctor's office. There's going to be the patient, and there's going to be the doctor. Which one do you want to be? And it's about beans, and more beans. Then I'd probably read the first line, just that they knock on the door and fart, and the patient is eating a bowl of beans. And then I think for most of these, they're pretty easy to just jump into.
Yeah. Okay, so you tell them to whatever's in parentheses. This is what you have to do.
Right. Okay. So in the also there's like right in the beginning too of the booklet, there's a script guide. So basically it says that all the bolded words are vocabulary words that are included in the back as a table right there. With all the vocabulary words in the whole booklet. But the bolded words are vocabulary words, and then the parentheses / italics are words that you don't say aloud, but you act out. So
Awesome. So we do have one person in here. Woo-hoo. So if you want us to act it out, tell us in the chat box.
Put us on the spot.
If you want us to act the scene out, so that way you can see the work. Oh, I see your response. You said yes, please. All right, well, let's go ahead and do it. Let us act it out. I'll be the doctor.
Oh, you'll be the
I'll be the doctor, and you'll be the patient, and I guess we'll.
Unfortunately, that means you don't get to do any farting sounds, which is
darn it.
Right.
Really wanted to. All right. So I guess we'll do how do you do that? Was it 5, 4, 3 action or something like that?
Right. I mean 3, 2, 1. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess 3, 2, 1 action.
So I would knock and
Oh, and then who would be the narrator? I guess the parent would be the narrator.
Even a lot of these skits don't even have.
You don't need the narrator. Okay. So we would just tell them, okay, you're not going to door fart. The patient is eating a bowl of beans. So then you would be pretending to eat a bowl of beans. Right. All right. And I'll say, you can come in. How can I help you?
I have an upset stomach and I have a lot of gas.
Ooh, what were you eating?
I'm eating a bowl of baked beans. They taste so good.
How often are you eating beans?
I eat beans for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and dessert. I like beans a lot. I eat 5 cans of beans every day.
I think your gas may be happening because of too many beans. You are eating too many beans every day.
Hmm. Are beans bad for me?
No, beans are good for your health. The problem is that you are eating way too many beans.
Are you sure that beans are the problem?
Yes, I'm sure you are eating 5 cans of beans every day. That is way too many beans. I'm going to give you some medicine that will help your stomach feel better too.
Oh, thank you, doctor. Hmm.
And it keeps
So
eating the beans.
it
Oh,
keeps eating the
and
beans.
see. Okay,
And
that was
see.
good. Woo!
Right. And sometimes I've even had the students in the workshop make up their own lines after the end and just have even more gas because this is one of their favorites.
He said, bravo. Thank you so much. Acting skills. All right, that was a lot of fun. I mean, as an adult, so I know the kids are gonna have a blast doing that. So I like the personal dictionary. And you said like that is where they would, for the words that you don't know, ask an adult to find the meaning of the word, and then it turns into an activity. So this is great. So now they're gonna look up these words and write them in, or I would also, I guess when you continue to revise your copies, I would add in options for pictures too,
Mhm.
because we have a lot of our kids who are artistic and they have to draw different things. So I think that that'll be a great way to have them in a variety of ways. But I think this is awesome. And these are great words like apologize, appointment. These are things that, of course, they should know on a regular basis. And the fact that they've used it in the script and the film,
Right.
great.
Right.
I love
So
that. That was a lot of fun.
thanks. Thanks. So it is a lot of fun, especially when you're doing it with kids too, and they're having a blast. It makes it even better.
Awesome. All right. So we're gonna go to the next one. So your mission.
Right. So our mission is really to promote literacy in low income communities and really help students from economically disadvantaged areas
Okay.
increase their reading proficiency. So automatically, 15% of all sales go to the Literacy Lab DC. Yeah, I don't know if you are familiar with the Literacy Lab, but they do works in and help. They do work in and help kids from low income families improve literacy skills
Yeah.
and leading to greater success.
Oh,
And
that's beautiful. So every time you sell the scripts, 50% of that goes to the literacy lab. And
automatically
like
goes to
you
them.
said, you're helping improve the literacy rates for the low income families and just from grades pre-K to third grade.
Right.
That's great.
Right.
That's,
And especially now, it's really needed too. I mean, since a lot of kids are missing like crucial time in class,
yes.
it's gonna be really helpful.
Amazing. I love it. I'm gonna look into literacy lab as well and in ways that I can, connect with them because of course we always want to uh, build that initiative because our
Right.
members are, most of our members are not low income families. However, they're always looking to support and help other families and of course like reading and literacy. So I think that'll be a great way to collaborate, make everything much more meaningful, that we do. Because we're not only learning for our kids, we're also trying to help other kids, you know, love reading as well. So
Definitely. And they have chapters all over the US too.
okay.
So which is great. And or in various locations around the US. And but specifically for ours goes to DC because, go Maryland, go Terps, go DC. So that's
Yeah, go Philly. Alrighty. So if a parent wants to purchase the script, they would go here.
Go to the website tinytheatermd.com, and this is the last week of the back to school sale too, so it's $5 off. And there's also plans for educators too. If there's some teachers that see this and say, oh hey, this would be great to incorporate at home, especially for students who are we're trying to connect with students and maybe do a small group Zoom activity or a small group learning activity or something even this that their parents can use. There's plans available for educators too. So
Beautiful.
yeah.
So you guys want to purchase one of these scripts and start acting out and have just as much fun as we did. And then also the proceeds go to the Literacy Lab, which is a great cause on helping literacy across the United States. Then go to www.tinytheatermd.com and start acting these out. Acting these out.
Right.
All right, so we have a Q&A, and we definitely acted out. So if there are any questions that we have, you can definitely type them in the chat box. In the meantime, Ian, you can definitely like close out, say some additional, anything else that you want to add as to like where you are and just your initiatives and so on.
I mean, not too much. I mean, I think this kind of started off helping. Well, first Tiny Theater even started off kind of separate from reading, but just giving kids the opportunity to try out theater, and it's really about helping kids and helping the community as well, and social entrepreneurship. So I'm glad that hearing the feedback from parents is that they're loving it. So I'm glad that parents are loving it, and I'm glad that it's something that can be used to also help the community and build up others too. So I hope your listeners try it out. If you have any questions, there's an email on the website, and feel free to reach out. But thanks again for having me. The Diverse Learners Membership sounds great. So I will definitely.
We're happy to have you. Of course, we're so happy to have you, and thank you again for just sharing. And like what you were saying before is just about connecting and really impacting our community and our children in a positive note. Wait, let me see. We have a Q&A, so we do have one. Okay. Go to the Q&A. I never used that. Okay, so are the scripts age or reading level based? For example, I know you said that earlier they were from K to 2. Is there, and I'm assuming it would be like, is one script geared more towards K, is another script, or are they just like a variety?
There's a little bit of variety, but usually the shorter ones, there's a couple of them in there that are 1 to 2 page, and there are some that are range more on the 2 to 3 page. And the 2 to 3 page are geared more so for the reading level of second grade. Not necessarily too far into second grade, but starting at second grade level. And there's some reading level analyzers that agree, and some teachers that have checked it and said that, oh, hey, this is probably best for beginning second grade level. So I primarily say that K through 2, but I do understand that there are students who read at different levels, and everyone learns at a different rate. So the scripts say mixed reading levels, but primarily for K through 2, leaning on the 2 side.
Awesome. And you would say that the shorter scripts are for the kindergartners, the first graders, okay? And then the longer scripts would be for the older students. And then, but there's a variety of that and those 13 different scripts that you have. Okay.
Right, correct. Yeah.
Awesome. That's great. All righty. So just before we close out, always touch on these things. And as for you, Ian, it's like one of the things that we really focus on is just the 3 C's of engaging our learners. So constructing like their background knowledge, like what we were talking about before, about like having them actually look up the words and define the words and understand it. That's building their knowledge, connecting it to them, right? Everyone goes to the doctor at some point, and and it's trying to connect it to an experience that they may have had with a doctor and something that they wouldn't do. Like I know from now on, I would never eat that many beans because this is what's gonna happen. And then at the end of creating, and then the whole the play itself is the creating. Like you're creating a scene, you're acting it out, you're tapping into your creativities. So your scripts have tied into all 3 C's of engaging learners, and that's really what we want to always make sure we're doing for the content that we're putting in front of our children. And just to close it out, so next week we have our regular member call. So we try to meet on a weekly basis, just to connect and share and just discuss where we are with everything. There is a diverse learner box, so I think you and I can kind of connect some in some way about how we can get some materials
Yeah.
in these boxes, just different items to really help get this in front of parents. And that, so the diverse learner box is about a diversity in books. So every month they'll have a variety of books. It's usually characters of color, and they go out to, you know, like the members would subscribe, or some of our people interested are not actual members, but you don't have to be a member to purchase a box, and there'll be guides, book guides, and different things in there. And then some tutor potential, that's a tutoring site that we'll talk more. I'll talk more about with the members, just like the direction that we're looking to go with that. And last but not least, next week, next month is our next masterclass, to be determined. We just have to confirm some, we have one of our members who's interested in doing something, topics related to Montessori. So we're just going to confirm that before we like make the announcements. But those are the upcoming events for our membership. Again, Ian, we're so happy to have had you. Thank you for sharing this wonderful work that you do with us. And we're just looking forward to continue to support you and, you know, just the students and initiatives moving forward. So more opportunities, more collaborations, you know, we're excited to have that.
Of course. Thanks for having me again. It was
Yeah.
fun talking with you.
Awesome. So I'm going to stop sharing. And I think I just stopped broadcasting and we'll be good. Thanks for tuning in. All right, you can stay on. Let me see how this works. See, they tell you can start broadcasting, but they don't tell you how to stop. Okay, I'm gonna stop the sharing. You see me, but now I'll stop the recording.